Today's conversation is sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9 to 5 optional, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising. Tired of stress at work? Use these 3 strategies. The reason I say that is because this is one of the things that happens all the time to you. High performer, top performer, constantly going to President's Club, you're constantly getting the special projects, and you're taking all this responsibility on, and you are stressed out. And so if you're tired or stressed at work, literally use these 3 strategies that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share them towards the middle, maybe the end, but just hang on with me because this is one of the things that definitely happens to you because you are a high performer. It's something that you have probably dealt with most of your life, but really just keep taking on more and more responsibility. You don't want to talk about, hey, look, I'm maybe a little bit tired. Hey, listen, it's probably not best for me to do this because you keep pushing through. And because you're so awesome, you continue to deliver and many times over deliver. You are Mr. or Miss Reliable. You are the go-to person. And yeah, I've been the go-to guy many, many times. And then you're doing your work plus the work of other people because that makes you an amazing player. You're the one who gets it all done. And you know what? You're nice, you're smiling, you get the pats on the back, and everybody really appreciates you because you have this also little touch of perfectionism, which means not only are you going to take on other people's jobs, you're going to do it better than they would do it themselves. So guess what? They're going to keep giving you their job to do. And your boss is going to appreciate it or maybe not even know it. But it's just one of the things that happens. Ask me how I know. The thing is, you're going through all of these consistent, recognition, and your colleagues are recognizing you, and you want to continue to be known as the winner, the leader, whether it's officially, unofficially. And the thing is, deep down inside, you are just trying to be stress free, like living a month or a quarter that is free of stress. But guess what? Guess who's creating the stress? I won't digress. And you also you just want to control more of your time. I've been there. I've done that. I remember I just want, like, even helping, doing things with other people. I just wanted to be able to have a little bit of extra time for myself. I wanted to be able to invest time with loved ones. But I kept saying yes to everything. And so the more that I said yes, the more I got that recognition, the more I got that dopamine hit, the less time I had for myself, the less control I had over my own schedule. And the thing is, because I was having difficulties, and this is why I want to talk to you about, because like, if you're tired of stress at work, like literally keep listening, because I'm going to give you 3 strategies that are really going to help you out. But when you're doing all this work, you eventually come to a point where you're like, I can't even disconnect because you're so connected to work. You're so connected in desiring this dopamine hit, which is giving you more recognition. And it's almost like the Pavlovian dog where you are just like, as soon as someone needs help, you're there. Boom, I can help you. And it's going to create challenges for you to disconnect from work. And like, I did an entire episode on this. And so if you've not listened to episode 446, it's like literally it's the truth about struggling to disconnect from work. Like, you need to go back and listen to that one because it will give you even more insight. So I don't want to go deep into that, but this is one of the problems, is that when you can't disconnect from work, go back and check out 446, the episode, because your hands are in everything. And when your hands are in everything, that means you have less time to do the stuff that you want to be able to do. And so I remember this was a certain point, and then I started looking around. I was like, wow, hang on a second. There are other high achievers here that don't seem as exhausted as I do. They don't seem as tired as I do. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, there must be a better way. Right. And so as I started watching, I started observing. And then I also started realizing there's only 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in the week. How am I best using them? And that's the question I'm asking you, is like, how are you using that 168 hours a week that you have? Who knows? 56 of the hours, you're probably sleeping. That's 7 nights times 8 hours a night. I'm not there, but I sleep a lot less. So that's okay. My numbers change a little bit. But how are you best utilizing that 168 hours a week? I realized people were using them better than I was because they looked much more refreshed, much more energized than I did. And so the whole point is I wanted to learn from them. And so I sat down and just like A students, just like perfectionists, and now I'm a recovering perfectionist. I sat down and I wanted to put a couple of things in place. And a lot of this has to do with being able to set effective boundaries, right? And I did an entire episode on that one as well. That one's episode 424, if I'm not mistaken, talking about setting your boundaries at the office. And if you need to go deeper, go check out episode 424. But today, because you're here, you're listening, I want to share with you 3 specific strategies that are going to help you be less stressed at the office, at work. First and foremost, the one thing I would say to you is you have to learn how to set your boundaries effectively. But within that is stop taking on your colleagues' responsibility. Like a strategy is don't take on anybody else's work. Full stop. Don't take on anybody else's work so that you can actually recognize how much additional time that you could have. So if you don't take on other people's work, you can recognize how much additional time you can have that you can invest with the people that you want when you want. It's going to be difficult. Trust me. I'm going to get to that part here in just a second. Also, what are your life priorities? What are the things that are most important to you? And make sure that anything that you are doing inside or outside of the office, right? But with more of a focus on the office, make sure that your priorities are aligning, your work priorities are aligning with your work priorities and doing that properly. Because if not, if you really want to be a family person, but you're spending the majority of your time, and just check your calendar, your calendar will tell on you. It told on me a lot, and it tells on me today, and that's the way that I'm keeping myself aligned with my priorities, so that you can actually get more energy. Because when your priorities are aligned to the purpose inside and outside of the office, then you're aligned with the things that are going to give you the most energy all the time. So do that. And then this is really, really hard. And it goes back to what I was talking about before, like episode 446, where I talked about disconnecting from work. It's really important the third strategy is to leave your work stress at work. Do not bring it home. I know it sounds easier said than done, but I was watching a video the other day. It was really awesome. Maybe I'll do something on that. But it was like you basically have the amount of time every day. I think it was like 1,000 minutes or whatever that you have. And so that time, every time that you utilize it or you're using it on things that are going to bring you stress, especially when you're not at the office, like don't use your minutes on things that are not going to bring you positive energy. So leave your work stress at work, because it doesn't do anything for you at home other than cause issues. So just real quick, not taking on your colleagues' responsibilities, making sure that you're aligning your priorities properly with your work, and then leave your work stress at work. Like those 3 simple strategies, it will start to help you feel less stressed. Each one of them, I've used them. I use them, and they help me a lot, massively. And I will tell you, in the beginning, you're going to feel conflicted because it's not easy, especially if you've not been doing this. Saying no to other people when you've been a yes person most of your life, a yes man, a yes woman, it is tough. So you've got to start to exercise, like use that muscle and say no. And when someone's asking you to take on their responsibility, hey, listen, would love to. However, I've got such and such and such and such, which is going to prevent me from being able to do it in the way that I'm used to doing it. So, you're going to have to find another option. It's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward, and it's definitely going to be uncomfortable for you, but you've got to start to exercise the no muscle. Because if not, you're going to continue to be stressed out, and you're listening to this up until now because you don't want to be stressed out. You want to understand what the 3 strategies are. So just to recap, not taking on other people's responsibilities, making sure that your priorities are aligned properly with your life's purpose and also on your work purpose, and also leaving your work stress at work. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to get there. Doesn't happen overnight. I didn't get there overnight. And I still come back to these 3 strategies to make sure that it keeps me with less stress. At the end of the day, I realized that when I started applying this, I started getting control over more of my time. I want the same thing for you. I started to be able to increase the focus on the outcomes, and specifically the process related to getting to the outcome. Because now it's really, when I'm focused on the process, it helps me to get to an outcome. And then it also will improve your personal and life work balance, believe it or not. Increasing the no's, aligning your purpose, and also making sure that you leave the stress where it needs to stay, work stress at work. I'm trusting that this has been helpful for you. I really want to hear about how these 3 strategies, specific tactical strategies that you can put into place today, saying no to colleagues, aligning your purpose with your priorities, and also leaving the work stress at work. How are they working for you? I want to know. Feel free to reach out to me. More importantly, if you feel like, or you know someone who's stressed and you see them being stressed consistently from work, with work, they're saying yes to everything, share today's episode with them. It's going to help them, and you are the person that's helping them. I appreciate it. They're definitely going to appreciate it. And heck, get on the phone and talk to them about it, or meet with them over a cup of coffee. I'd love to know how it's working. So with that stated, I want to say I'm going to start working on the next episode. I want you to take a lot of advantage of this episode. I want you to go out. I want you to make it a great day. And I want to say thank you very, very much. Today's conversation was sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you're looking to make your 9-to-5 optional and need some help, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.